digital world. Welcome to the Funky Uncle Lounge, live from the Howlin Wolf. My name is Soul Stew, and once again, it's such an honor to be sitting here in this host chair with these fantastic musicians in front of us. We are streaming live from the Howlin Wolf, and you and all your friends can come join us if you are lucky enough to be here in the beautiful Crescent City down here in New Orleans, Louisiana. Now, 85 weeks ago, when our world became all turned upside down, the Funky Uncle crew got together to put on this great show for y'all, put together some great live New Orleans music to help out our local musicians and gig workers. And one of the first people we called was our dear friend, Big Chief Gerald Paige. He came in and played with his fantastic band, and we had such a wonderful night. Now here they are coming back 85 weeks later, and we are still here, still rocking, still helping out our community. And we want you to come join us here at the Howlin Wolf. We're doing it every week, and of course we're doing it for a great cause. I've got my dear friend Leslie Cooper sitting here. And Leslie, it's so good to see you. Wow, what a special, it's all come full circle.
It is back. We always said we were going to bring the music to them until they could come to us, and now you can. Get down here to the Howlin Wolf. Tickets are available on either FunkyUncle.Live or on the Howlin Wolf website, thehowlingwolf.com. And it's so easy. Come on down and watch this live taping of a show. That in and of itself shows you what our gig workers are capable of and what they've been doing for 85 weeks, because that's what it's all about. Don't forget to go to the website and check out the Funky Shop and check out all the merchandise, the prints. We got lots of ways that you can donate, lots of ways that you can support us. We'll talk more about it later. But after you text FUNK to 36413 and donate that way, I'm ready to hear some music.
Absolutely. We've got some of the baddest musicians in the land about to bring it to us. So, with no further ado, ladies and gentlemen out there in the digital world, put your hands together wherever you are. Give it up for the great Big Chief Gerald Paige and Indian Water. And don't forget to wash your hands and stomp your feet.
Mighty y'all doing out there? That's original Indian water music, y'all. Want you to sit back and be entertained. A lot of people come entertained, but we come to entertain. Ain't no pride like the one I got. We surely are the best now. Ain't no game like the one I'm with. We'll put you to the test now. Ain't no pride like the one I got. We surely are the best now. Ain't no game like the one I'm about. We'll put you to the test now. Ain't no pride like the one I got. We surely are the best now. Ain't no game like the one I'm about. We'll put you to the test now. Ain't no pride like the one I got. We surely are the best now. Ain't no game. Say mighty cry morning at the break of dawn. I'm leaving my house with woe paint on. Somebody write my mom and tell my wife I suit cold Melinda by the broad daylight. Ain't no tribe like the one I got. We surely are the best now. Ain't no gang like the one I'm about. We'll put you to the test now. Ain't no tribe like the one I got. We surely are the best now. Ain't no gang like the one I'm about. We'll put you to the test now. Ain't no tribe like the one I got. We surely are the best now. Ain't no gang like the one I'm about. We'll put you to the test now. Ain't no tribe like the one I got. We surely are the best now. Ain't no give me some of that guitar, Christian. Give it up for Mr. Christian Duke here on the guitar. Give him some of the keys, Gerald. Give it up for Mr. Jerry Albert. Give him some of the basses, man. Say let 'em go. Say nobody kneeling, nobody run. Say mighty cry morning at the break of dawn. I'm leaving my house with woe paint on. Ain't no tribe like the one I got. We surely are the best now. Ain't no gang like the one I'm about. We'll put you to the test now. Ain't no tribe like the one I got. We surely are the best now. Ain't no gang like the one I'm about. We'll put you to the test now. Ain't no tribe like the one I got. We surely are the best now. Ain't no gang like the one I'm about. We'll put you to the test now. Ain't no tribe like the one I got. We surely are the best now. Ain't no gang like the one I'm about. Original Indian water music, y'all. We're going to take y'all down to a place called Congo Square, where it all began. Live in that Congo, live in that Congo, live in that Congo, live in that Congo, live in that Congo. I say, mama, say me na 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 na. Set your soul on fire, you put your mind on the wonder. Say I walk, vanilla with needle and thread. Big boots in my back, the thud in my head. Say mighty Gras morning when you read the news. Got a big chief coming, got in John Blue. Don't bother nobody with a feather in their head. Got a bad reputation, should have long been dead. Live in that gun, who read that morning say let him come. Live in that gun, keep two shiny pistols and he loaded shotgun. I've been doing this since a little bitty boy. I ain't no toy engine, I'm the real McCall. Say talk about engine, let's talk about life. I take your big queen and make it my wife. Say I ran through the ocean, didn't get wet. Say I ran through hell and didn't break a sweat. Give me some of the keys, Gerald. Nobody right my mind but tell my dad. Oh, I'm the big chief that they wish they had. Hooray, let them come. I beat tambourine, the young time punk.
Indian water. Laying down that Mardi Gras Indian funk here at the Funky Uncle on this lovely evening. My name is Soul Stew. It's such an honor to be sitting here 85 weeks into it. And I'm telling you, we didn't know we were going to have to keep it going this long. But, you know, here we are. And when our world got turned upside down 85 weeks ago, we started dealing with it with the only way we know how, through music, through the power that it has, bringing us all together, helping each other, looking out for one another. And that's why the very first show we had, we reached out to Big Chief Gerald Paige. He's so devoted to his community. He's an educator. He's a big chief. He's someone who's done so much to keep this culture alive and enlighten others onto the true history and the roots of it. And we're so honored to have him here. You see one of the Funky Uncle's fearless leaders, Christian Duque, on the guitar.
Yeah.
Sounding great. I remember 85 weeks ago when we played in the very first show, how excited Christian was to get to play with Indian Water and Big Chief Gerald Paige. So it's great to see it all coming full circle right here. What an honor. And you know what? We want you to come on down and join us. We still got some room in here. We still got a few tickets left. Come on down to the Howlin Wolf. Cut a rug with us, hang out, you know, get some of that Mardi Cuda in you. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, you can buy me a drink. You might let me drink. Yeah, that's the kind of guy I am. Anyways, we're having a great time. We want you to join us. And of course, we're doing this all for a good cause to help our local musicians and gig workers. And we've got different ways that you can help us with that mission. We've got some beautiful Frenchy originals that are still on the auction table. They probably won't be there for too much longer. We got the guitar slim painting, which was amazing, and we've got, I believe, maybe Buku Groove still.
The Green Demons.
Oh, Green Demons, our Halloween show. That was something.
And not only do we have the Green Demons, but we've got the Blues Groover. Kevin and the Blues Groovers from last week. And they're all right here. We'll pull them up in a little bit. Buku Groove may still be here. It's back there. We'll have to look and see.
Hot commodities.
Yeah, they did good. They did good. And those are available, as well as, you know, we've got prints too, Stu. You know, you've seen those canvas, on the website. Beautiful. Go to the website at FunkyUncle.Live, where you can look and find all of these things that you can purchase that goes to such a good cause. I've been asking you to text FUNK to 36413. That's a very, very easy way, but you'll see a recurring donation and a one-time donation. If you do that recurring donation, you become a member of the Funky family. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, becoming a cousin. So hang on to that. But check out the website, again, with all of our merchandise. And there's another very important button that a couple of people have already clicked on, and that's how to become a sponsor. This week is Faubourg Private Wealth. Of course, our new partnership here with the Howlin Wolf. We want to thank them for giving us a home, because Carnival is back on the Tux Den after 83 weeks. They got to have it back. And then there's also our partnership with Where Ya At magazine. We're so grateful to have them here. And we hope to see your name there next. But what I really hope is that we can have some more music, please.
Absolutely. Let's get this band, get on back to it. What I love about Indian Water, they infuse so many different elements into the Mardi Gras Indian style, which is really what it's all about. They do it so marvelously. So it's really a pleasure and an honor to have them here. And man, every time I see him, it just gets me going. So let's let them get back to it. Looks like the band's ready to go. The guitar's attuned. Big Chief's got his headdress on, and he's ready to do his thing. So y'all know what to do out there. Wash your hands, stomp your feet.
1, 2, 3. We're gonna do something Hold up, man. It's all right if I try something? We see a lot of people sitting out there, they're not dancing. We're going to see if we can get y'all that audience participation going. Is that all right with y'all? We're going to try this out. Pocky way, y'all sing. Pocky way, y'all sing it. Oh, y'all almost sound like a church choir out there. Pocky way. Big Chief, say mighty goody fire. Pocky way, boom boom badore. Oh, I tell the story. Say ya Papanito met the pretty white eagle. Say boom boom badore. I'm cheap, I got glory. Say spy with the hop. Say hope gain it by me. Say we coming at night now. Say we shine like a light now. Big Chief and I'm ready. Run get my machete. Who what you want? Bring the cheap fire water. Say boom boom and disco. Pocky way. Little tribute to the Meters Island version of it. I'm going to dedicate this one to my good friend Chris Berry, man. The man has really put his best foot forward. If it wasn't for him, none of this would be possible. He's did everything he could to make sure that we continue this culture and tradition. This for you, my brother.
Big Chief Gerald, Paige, and Indian Water. Got the whole Howlin Wolf shaking. We here at the Funky Uncle are so happy to have him. And of course, this fantastic band. Got to give it up for my man Jeremy over there on keys, who's played quite a few Funky Uncle live shows in his day. Of course, Jamal Baptiste on the drums. You might have seen him here at the Funky Uncle playing with Leono Santelli and all types of other fantastic musicians. Of course, one of our fearless leaders, Christian Duque on the guitar, and New Orleans' own Mike Bass holding it down on the low end. You might have seen him touring the world with Trombone Shorty these past few years, but we're so glad to have him here at the Funky Uncle, live from the Howlin Wolf. What a night, celebrating 85 weeks of doing this. And now, let me tell you something. You see it, you hear it, it looks great, it sounds great. You see these great bands playing all these amazing tunes. But listen, none of it could happen without this amazing, hard-working crew that we have working behind the scenes that have been doing it this whole time and making sure it looks good, sounds good, and that we do it safely, and that all of our musicians and our crew and our guests are taken care of and everyone's safe. We could not do it without them. They are the heroes behind the scenes. And on that note, I want to welcome a very dear friend of mine, my man BJ, who was one of our first audio engineers at the Funky Uncle, did about 83 weeks worth of Funky Uncles.
Yep.
Until we moved here to the Howlin Wolf, and now he gets to just come and hang out and, kick it with me in the background and, buy me a drink when I'm not on the stage. So, BJ, where you at, brother? How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Good to see your face again. Does it feel good to be back, just be able to hang out and enjoy the music?
It does, and it's nice to sit back and enjoy it for a change and not have to, think about some stuff, think about all kinds of things. It's nice.
Absolutely, because normally BJ is just running around behind the scenes, taking care of everything, putting out fires, doing it all to make sure it sounds fantastic when you hear it. Not only has he audio engineered all of our live broadcasts, he also recorded all the songs for our upcoming album, the compilation that if you were a Grammy voting member, you need to vote for, the Funky Uncle compilation, which is going to be incredible. BJ recorded all of that himself, and you've been an integral part of this journey, brother. And so for those who don't know, your history in the music business is long and rich. Of course, you've been running sound in New Orleans on films and in clubs and with bands for years. But before that, you're from LA. You worked with Tupac Shakur, Guns N' Roses. Just your list goes on and on. So with all that, what was it like to be a part of the Funky Uncle? Something so unique.
It was truly a wonderful experience. Every night, besides getting me out of the house during the pandemic to do something that was worthwhile, helping people, and it helped myself too.
Yeah.
To get out to mix sound, to do my craft when so many people couldn't do it.
Right.
Bands, sound guys, lighting guys, everybody. Camera people. So that was a big plus for me as well. But and this was a very special journey. Yeah. That whole year before it came here, the year and a half almost that we were at the Den was, I looked forward to every Friday night coming in.
That's how I felt too. I said it gave me something to look forward to every week. It was almost like I hit the reset button. It was like that was the one thing I got to go out and do and see a great band and work with a great crew. And we were all along, still are on this journey together. So
and one of the other amazing things was the musicians were so just into it.
Exactly.
They were like, man, I haven't picked up my horn in 6 months, and it's like, so, and to hear stories like that, and to get them back out doing what they do,
right?
it
was touching.
It was nice to be part of that.
It was. And, behind the scenes, after we get done with the Funky Uncle broadcast, BJ and I would sit there hanging out with all the guys, and he'd just start telling stories. And it's kind of like, that episode of Chappelle's Show where Charlie Murphy's talking about, playing basketball with Prince and all that. BJ's stories were basically like that, like him hanging out with Tupac at some club in L.A., him going to, bars with Axl Rose and Slash and all this.
Yeah.
But the whole time you were like, that's whatever. What's happening now is what's really
This is what meant a lot. That was fun, but this actually meant something.
Absolutely.
The others were stories, but these stories here, the stuff we've done, this is you're going to hear about this in history for a long time to come.
Absolutely. That's how I feel, too. Well, brother, thank you so much for being a part of this journey. We couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you for having me.
You'll always be a part of the Funky Uncle. And once again, we want to thank our sponsors, Fallberg Private Well. Thank our good friends here at the Howlin Wolf for hosting us. Thank our friends over at Where You Are. And, of course, thank our crew, the ones who make it happen behind the scenes. And now we're going to let the band get back on to it with the Indian water, and you know what to do. BJ, help me out.
Wash your hands and stomp your feet.
We about to do something different for y'all. First, Indian rock tune. 1, 2, 3, 4. I be so, I be so, I be so, I be so in. I be so, I be so, I be so, I be so in. I be so, I be so, I be so, I be so in. I be so, I be so, I be so, I be so in all night. My stitch is so tight, make some of these Indians wanna fight. So in my candlelight, 'cause I be sewing all night. My stitch is so tight, make some of these Indians wanna fight. So in my candlelight, 'cause I be sewing all night. All night. My stitch is so tight, make some of these Indians wanna fight. So if I candlelight, 'cause I be sewing all night. My stitch is so tight, make some of these Indians wanna fight. So if I candlelight, give them the keys, Gerald.
me take a moment to introduce the members of the band. These guys really made a dream come true that I wanted to do. The purpose of the album is to honor those elders. It was a concept I thought about when we started losing people like Mac Rebnack. We lost all these legends we lost, and I got together with these guys and said, hey, man, I want to do something to give the elders their flowers while they're alive. So we just taking some of the things that they've done, some of the traditions, giving them our own spin. So on guitar, I got my brother from another mother, Christian Duque. Got Jeremy over there on the keys, that's one of my guys. Mike Bass, that's like my little brother. He was one of the guys that helped me really put this to fruition. And my brother from another mother, Jamal Baptiste. Coming at y'all with another one. This one we did is called two-way. You're familiar with the Indian term, two-word. So I took the spin to make it where instead of heading down one direction, let's change paths. Because right now everybody's going through a tough time. So we need something to bring us together. We need to get those elected officials to stop playing politics and look out for the people. So this is a message aimed at them, so y'all make sure y'all check it out. Give it to them all. You'll hear, pay attention to the words in the song. You're going to hear a lot of things, talking about things that's going on in the city. I know a lot of y'all tired of riding around hitting these potholes, things are changing. We got to make sure we honor the culture, make sure we preserve it like this man Chris Merritt did. He came up with a concept to make sure the music survives, make sure the culture thrives. So y'all make sure y'all get behind the movement. It's not a fad or a gimmick, it's a movement. Y'all sit back, y'all get up and dance if you want, dance to the groove. Look good at something like this. I was headed down a one-way, so I made it to a two-way. And everything that didn't say became real clear. I was headed down a one-way, so I made it to a two-way. And on my journey, I realized I had no fear. Pay attention to the verse. I was original Indian water music, y'all. Now, when y'all hear this here, y'all gonna hear a little venom towards certain groups that's been kind of exploiting the culture. So, you know, when we say we gonna make you hoomba, we gonna make you bow. So pay attention to this one too.
Listen up, y'all. Ain't gotta do a two-step. Get down on the floor and get to the hoomba. Listen up, y'all. Ain't gotta do a two-step. Get down on the floor and get to the hoomba.
you're right, y'all. Give it up. Big Chief Gerald, Paige, in Indian Water, shaking the house over here at the Howlin Wolf, a.k.a. the Funky Uncle, for tonight. We are so grateful to the Howlin Wolf for being these gracious hosts, and we want you to come join us every Wednesday. We're going to keep this party going. We got Kermit Ruffins coming in here next week, y'all. That's right. You heard that right. Kermit Ruffins is coming here to the Howlin Wolf to stream out to the universe for the Funky Uncle fans. So, come on down. Join the party. Join the family. You can be a funky cousin. You can do all that good stuff. Right, Leslie?
That's right. It is so easy to become a funky cousin. You just text FUNK to 36413. And then when you get this, when that page comes up, you'll either have a one-time donation, which we love and adore. But you know what? I love you more if you will click on that recurring donation. Now, only $1 will put you into the funky family. But if you want to become a funky cousin, those are the coolest of them all, because, we all got that funky uncle that shows up. The holidays are coming.
Usually me, yeah.
Funky uncle's coming. I can't wait.
Uncle Stu's cologne is really strong.
Right.
It's kind of smoky.
Little smoky there. So anyway, there's that crazy funky uncle that shows up, and that makes us all funky cousins. But if you want to be one of our funky cousin, you just donate $13.13 a month. You're going to get a free piece of merchandise out of our funky shop. You're going to get a discount on anything else, and since the holidays are coming, all of your gift giving needs in one location. Now, I'm not going to start singing Christmas songs, and I swore I'd shoot the band if they did it. So no Christmas songs, all right? Not yet.
Do it.
Thank you, Jeremy. Not yet, but soon. Come soon. We'll have surprises for you for that. But anyway, if you become a funky cousin, I would love you so much, because that amount of support goes to help us. You don't have to remember it once a month. You don't have to remember, did I do that? Did I get my donation in? You don't have to worry about it. It's right there. We love you for that. Don't forget to check out being a sponsor, just like Faubourg Private Wealth, our partnerships here at the Howlin Wolf. Thank you so much, giving us a spot to hang out, because the crew of Tucks, we love them. They kept us there for 83 weeks, and they got to have room back, because why?
Carnival's coming, baby.
All hail the king.
All hail the king.
Yep, they're everywhere.
A lot of royalty in the house.
Lots of royalty in the house, and we love it like that. So we are so happy. Check out the Howlin Wolf's website. You can buy tickets for the Funky Uncle, but you can also get tickets on our site, the FunkyUncle.Live. You can become a sponsor. You can do so many different ways. Check out the Frenchy Paintings. Check out the one that'll be up next week for here. And, man, make somebody's holidays really, really, really special. Now, make my night really, really special, and ask him to do another one, Stewie.
Absolutely, I will. And also, if you want to relive the magic of this fantastic performance and all the other ones, you can go to the FunkyUncle.Live, or you could go to our YouTube page, FunkyUncle.Live. You could subscribe to that, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, tweet us, tell all your friends, dial 1-800-COLLECT, whatever you got to do. Spread the message. Whatever you got to do to get the message out there, because we've got some great music that we're going to keep sharing with you. Speaking of which, we're going to let Indian Water get right back to it. Y'all know what to do out there. Wash your hands and stomp your feet.
Y'all still with us out there? We're going to take you back to Mardi Gras Day.
It's my little brother. All right, all right, all right. Yes, indeed. Indian Water, take a bow, baby. Take a bow. Everybody up there, wave to. We got people in the house. Y'all wave to the people. There you go. All right. Now, if you missed any of tonight's show and or any of the past shows and you want to watch them again, it is very, very easy. It is FunkyUncle.Live. Or you can follow us on our Facebook page, our Instagram, and our YouTube channel. If you click on that and subscribe, we will let you know when the next one is coming. Speaking of the next one coming, Kermit Ruffins next week. Here Wednesday at the Howlin Wolf. Go to the FunkyUncle.Live. Buy those tickets in advance. They might sell out. I don't know. Kermit could make that happen for us. We're going to try really hard to make that happen. So that's next week. The following week, you're going to get to watch it on Wednesday. But how would you like an intimate, limited seating, very limited seating audience in front of Walter Wolfman Washington? Oh, I'm going to tell you how you can do that soon. We'll hook it up, put it on the website where you can ask us about that, and we'll get you all that information. That'll be on that Tuesday right before Thanksgiving. Something to be thankful for, all right? So don't forget Funky Uncle at FunkyUncle.Live or the Howlin Wolf. Thank you so much for that. Gerald, where you at, baby? Hey, Big Chief.
Big Chief's
Big
taking off his headdress.
This is the joy of
catch his breath
live.
after that performance.
This is the joy of live TV. And I'm going to ask any of you that are out in our audience, if you would like to, you're more than welcome to either come and sit on the bleachers or pull your chairs over and be a part of this amazing interview, because he was here your first night, and you were there the first night.
Absolutely.
And that is, we're going to get to hear what has the world been like since then, and how the Funky Uncle has helped him, just like we did with BJ earlier. So
this is, as you know, this is one of my favorite parts of the Funky Uncle.
Yeah.
Not only do we get these great shows, but then we get to sit here and talk to these amazing musicians and get to hear their histories. And Big Chief Gerald Paige has such a deep history, and he's so passionate about it. And not only has he lived this lifestyle, but he's a scholar of it. He's an educator. He's been one who's devoted so much of his life to passing these traditions on and illuminating all of us as to the roots of the black masking Indian culture, which goes so deep. It comes from New Orleans, but it goes back to, his ancestors, or the rhythms that you're hearing, and it's so great to get to talk to him and dive deep into that. And I'll tell you, as much as COVID has affected our musicians and, Mardi Gras and all that, but the effect it had on the Mardi Gras Indians was pretty profound. This is the first time in many of their entire lives they did not don those suits and hit the streets on Mardi Gras Day. And so to see the way that hear about how the Indian culture has been dealing with this is something that I feel is very pertinent to what we're all going through right now. So, with no further
I'm going to step
ado,
off and give the Big Chief this chair.
The great spirit warrior Indian tribe,
no.
please show your love and appreciation.
Okay, well, I'm going to sit and listen. I'm just sitting and listening. I was going to go out there and listen. Go ahead and have a seat, dear. All right, go ahead.
Big Chief, where you at? You catch your breath after bringing all that fire to the house, bro? I'm telling you, you were belting it out.
It's a pleasure to be here, man. Like I said, what y'all doing is a great thing, man. I got to take my hats off to Chris Berry, man. This is something phenomenal. What the Funky Uncle was doing, man, it helped a lot of people get through a tough time. It was a real tough and trying time, man. So it was something that gave us a sense of normalcy.
Absolutely. You were one of our early supporters.
Yeah.
You were there from day one. You brought that fire to the Funky Uncle. And then even after you performed, you were there supporting us, coming and hanging for all the bands and all that. So, as not only as a musician, but as a black masking Indian, for not being able to go out in the streets and all that, this was a heavy time for you and your community. Am I right?
It was tough, man. We made suits thinking Mardi Gras was going to happen, and then it was a culture shock to just have nothing on. I would see you, we'd be at shows hanging out, but it really frightened me to just be stuck inside doing nothing. Then to have, members of the tribe under 35 years old lost their life due to COVID, family members. It was a dark time. It was very dark. And when the idea came about the Funky Uncle, it was like, wow, we get a chance to do something to give some people some normalcy. Yeah,
absolutely. And another thing I greatly respected was how it seemed like the Indian community put their foot down and said, we are not masking this market. We do not want to draw the crowds. Maybe some people did their thing in their front porch or something small like that with just core family members socially distanced, but
Exactly.
y'all were not opening up under the Claiborne Bridge. And I really respected that because y'all did not want to put anyone at risk, even though this culture means everything to you. The lives of your loved ones in your community meant more.
Well, the thing is, without the community, man, we wouldn't exist. So it was just, we came together as a collective and decided it's best that we stay safe and protect each other, because it's just, we have very few elders still alive that's in the culture. We got Monk, we got Chief Doucette, but we didn't want to put it in at risk. So it's just, being the new elders, the new culture bearers, we thought that it would be wise to just wait, even though we wanted to, but it was wise to just wait.
So, Gerald, for someone like yourself who's been masking for so long, you were the young buck back in the day, but we're getting to a point in history where you're now, like you said, one of the new elders. And I see you embracing that, and I love it so much. And what's it like stepping into those shoes?
Well, it's funny. It's ironic. I remember a conversation me and Monk had. Monk got that weird sense of humor. He was like, you're the new elder, right? I was like, what you mean? I said, you still alive. He was like, think of the years you put into it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until after I started to embrace it. I look at the fact, getting back to, losing the Dr. Johns and the Leah Chasers, the Bo Dollars, and all other elders. I really saw it was a need, man. We got to make sure that we teaching the younger generation to appreciate it, and pretty much getting the city to appreciate it. Give people their flowers while they're here. We need to stop waiting until something happened, then we decided, we should have did this. Let's let them know we appreciate them while they're here.
Absolutely. So going back to those early days, Gerald, do you remember the first time you masked?
Yes, I actually
And what was that like?
My first time masking Indian, that I was 3 years old, and it was terrifying. Because, as a kid, you don't know what you're doing. You just figure, they're going to protect you. But, when you have legendary uncles that, as we would say, would throw you under the bus and leave you out to the wolves, it was like, okay, what the heck am I doing here? So it was a trial by fire.
Yeah.
But it's just, when you look at the years, me and my wife was sitting back and just thinking about it, I was like, wow, started putting the pictures up of my other suits. I was like, man, I've been doing this a long time. So there's just when I see guys that I remember when they started, now they Chiefs, and they be like, what's up, old man? I'm like, hold on, bro.
Oh, wait a minute.
I'm still trying to hold on to what little hip-hop I got left. It don't help when you have a granddaughter in college that's like, Papa, you old. I'm like, I actually am getting old. Your body starts feeling it.
Right. I bet after wearing that suit all day, too.
I didn't see it, but in between the set breaks, I was stretching. I was like, hold on, man. I'm feeling things here, but
like what you're saying, as far as being a young kid and getting in your suit, as someone who's just an observer of Indian culture and loves it, I've seen that with kids 3-4 years old meeting up in the street, and some of them, just the way they move in that suit and the way they sing and the way they dance, you can just tell that's a lifer. Like
and that is, like you say, Stu, you've been immersed in it, you're around it. It's just to see a little kid just grasp it. It does your heart proud, man. And it's just, that's something that we've been doing over the past 6-7 years. We were like, we got to make sure that the younger generation is embracing it, because it's something that we have our own written history on. And if we don't get these guys to preserve it, times like with COVID happening, when Katrina, it starts to get barren if the younger generation don't grab it. So it's good that they're taking it on. We just got to continue to do more to push it out there, basically.
Absolutely. And as someone born and raised in the city, like you mentioned, with Katrina, I really felt that the culture bearers, the Indians, the social aid and pleasure clubs, the brass bands, putting on parades, masking, I felt that brought back the spirit of the town as much as anything could, and help those young people who are so traumatized, but who were almost too young to realize it. But seeing y'all come through these neighborhoods that got hit by so much, but looking pretty in your suits, opening up, I felt like that really, healed this town.
And that's what it is. It's very therapeutic. You look at with Ida and with COVID, it had that feeling of Katrina again. Of course, Ida hit, I lost 6 suits. We had a hole in the roof. I had to literally throw 6 suits out because of the damage. The mold was covered by it, and that was tough.
Yeah.
But, when you ride around, you see the different blue roofs, the community is going to be there to keep it going, but I wish our elected officials would get behind the culture more.
I agree.
They always say that they support the culture and they want it to happen, but behind closed doors, they're not doing anything to help us. So it's just there's some organizations, again, I can't stop talking about the Funky Uncle. I mean, I make it my business every time I see Chris Berry to tell him, man, hey, we appreciate you, because he was one that he spoke it into existence and he lived by it. We have a lot of other organizations said they were going to help,
right,
and didn't do anything. So, I mean, it's just...
Same old routine.
Exactly.
Y'all know all too well.
Well, the thing with a lot of people have a tendency to look at the Indian culture as gimmicky. They look at it as we're just a gimmick or we're a fly-by-night thing, and
something to put in a Red Beans commercial or
exactly.
something.
So it's just, you might hear me sing. The funniest thing I've ever seen was Indian on the TV screen. Because, the suits are works of art. And I was explaining to you once before, the thing with the term Mardi Gras Indian, we're not knocking it. But the problem that we have is Mardi Gras didn't always let people of color participate.
And that's why the Black Mask and Indian tradition was created.
Exactly. So
because weren't allowed to go to these big parades who were, funded by the plantation money, let's be honest.
We wanted to be inclusive. A lot of your Mardi Gras crews, they judge you based upon skin color, economic stature, race, sex. We've always been inclusive. The thing with the Indian culture was, if we considered you friend, we'd say, hey, man, if the chief come up and say, I'm building my suit, why don't you come over? Right. So we've always been about embracing the culture. See, when we wear feathers in Native American culture and in African culture, it's a spiritual transformation. To feel closer to the Creator, you adorn yourself in feathers. So it's a spiritual thing. It's about, loving one another. We're in the freest country in the world. Right. But we find these hang-ups to hate this person for that, to hate that. But we got enough division as it is. Right. This is the time that we need to come together, man. Definitely.
Absolutely. And so kind of on some of the themes you were just saying, one of them, we were talking about the storm and how the Indians came back, and you're from the Tremaine neighborhood, right? And that's the neighborhood I saw obviously got hit by the storm with but I saw that neighborhood come back so strong. I felt, and I felt the Indians were a large part of that. And it was one of the most inspiring things I've ever seen. And then 5 years after that, I see it just wiped out by short-term rentals, Airbnbs, and all that. In the house I usually see the Big Chief come out of, I now see people on Segways on vacation who don't. So
it kind of baffles me. I mean, right now we're staying in the St. Rock neighborhood. We purchased a home there. It was actually Chief Doucette was like, keep the culture in the community. I don't want to lose out keeping the community, but just when you see these transplants that don't appreciate it, it's amazing. I mean, just behind us, there were like 15 houses built within the past 6 months. And I asked the guy, I was like, man, do you know the neighborhood? It's all elders. It's all people that has been here. I'm like, man, how you going to charge somebody $1,600 a month when the average person is making $725, an hour? Right. I'm like, anytime your rent and your bills are more than to sustain yourself, and it's just, me and Chief Ferguson had a conversation. It was just, we have to tackle the poverty issue. I mean, number one, people have to be treated decently. Right. I mean, it's really tough to sustain yourself, man. That's why I do everything I can to make sure that kids can continue to mass. I mean, I look at it, to be a teacher over 30 years, and I got laughed at. I was out of town doing a conference, and we was at Clark Atlanta University, and I did a lecture about the Black mass and culture and New Orleans culture. And a lady asked, she was like, as a teacher, what you make a year? And I told her, she laughed. I didn't know whether to be offended or get mad. And I was like, Louisiana just, they don't get.
We're number 50 in education.
Exactly. And that's a bad thing. I mean, I tell people Teach for America is really destroying a lot of the, when we came up, the teachers knew your family. It was a family vibe when you got to school. Now it's like a glorified.
If you acted up, they were going to tell your mother, your brother, your grandmother.
You doing something, but now it's become like a babysitting thing. It's just, just send your child, babysit them for a couple hours to keep them out your hair. So, then you have to look at the family dynamic is changing. It's what babies having babies now. So a lot of things have changed.
And something, the neighborhoods that the Mardi Gras Indians grew up in are neighborhoods that have given us some of the richest culture that makes the city so great. But at the same time, they've been hit by the throes of poverty. And I feel like the Indian culture, the brass band, the social aid and pleasure club culture is something that gave positive role models to bring young people out of that and give them and empower them and show them how incredible their culture is. I feel that's something that obviously we need to instill in these youngsters to keep it going, to see how beautiful they are.
It's the truth. I think the honest factor is, I'm kind of fair in this, Marty. I mean, talking with some Indians, you know, everybody's like, we're trying to get this to finish. We're trying to get that to finish. So it's just, again, it's frightening because I think the culture's at a desperate state right now to where it's at a barren state again. It's just like it was after Katrina, where it was barren.
It's very similar.
And when you see, prime example, you see Indians doing commercials with the full suit on. My thing is, if you're not insuring my suit, I'm not wearing it. Because if it gets damaged, why should I wear it and it gets damaged?
And then when you hear how much they're charging to rent a house in the Treme, you see why they have to get these commercials.
Exactly.
For the feathers, right?
It's a how would I say, it's a double-edged sword because you have to do what you have to do to survive. But it's like, it's also giving us that gimmicky label. I was at Tipitina's when Tank and the Bangers played, and we were sitting there conversing. A buddy of mine, he came up and a lady asked, she was like, man, those suits are so beautiful. Why don't y'all do that? And I said, well, because we're living works of art. This is not a costume that's designed. You know, I'm trying to get a lot of Indians to get into the trademark and copywriting aspect because it's your idea. Protect it.
Right.
You got
just like you would with your songs.
Man, it's days me and my wife would play tourists and walk up Decatur. And it's so many photographers selling pictures of Indians. And when I come up, I
bumped into you doing that. And we laughed at it together.
And I laugh at it. And I'm naming the people in the picture. And the people, they get upset. And they're like,
I've done that too. I'm like, oh, yeah, there's Honey. And they're like, I'm like,
are you giving them anything off it? So it's just, it has to, like, I tell people, my image is trademarked and copyrighted. So if I find a picture of me anywhere, I want receipts, I want royalties, and I want every picture there is. So it's just, we have to really get into the Indian business. Right. You know, it's one thing to mask for the street, but you have to be in the Indian business.
Right. Yeah, given that the business is coming for you one way or another, so you might as well have a stake in it.
Because, not to cut you off, little do you know, there's some senators in northern Louisiana, they're trying to pass a law to tax us like we're a parade. And I got this from a real close inside.
And this has been happening for years. See, I mean, Tootie Montana, one of your elders, literally died fighting against
the battle, right? So it's just, you know, when I see what Monk Boudreaux has done, Monk has bust his butt.
Absolutely.
I just wish he would speak out a little more. Because, you know, it's like he has the power. You know, I said the same thing to George Ford. I was like, George, you guys are the gatekeepers. Right. Just open your mouth just a little to make them, because if they would say something, they would have to respect us. So it's just when we say something, they feel like, oh, you're just being a troublemaker. No, I'm getting tired of seeing people starving.
I hear that.
You know, every time I go purchase beads or something from Jefferson Variety, I get the price and I'm like,
yeah, it's hard to be an Indian, right?
Yeah.
So now going back, I want to start with the first song that you sang tonight. Was the sacred Red. Mardi Gras Indian prayer, Indian Red.
Yeah.
For those, you know, watching at home, now when any Indian tribe hits the street, the second they come out, that's the opening prayer that they sing. Could you give us a little bit of just the history, the origin of it?
Well, the origin of Indian Red, of course, when you wear Indian suits, it's a spiritual transformation. It's very spiritual. So with anything you do, a lot of people didn't realize, of course, the images you see of the Native American culture on television were violent, always fighting. They're very spiritual people. So when we sing Indian Red, it's praying for safe travel. We want to pray and make sure that we make it home back to our families. Because I remember a time where wearing Indian suits before they got so expensive, you might not have made it home.
You know if you're going to make it back or not when you hit the streets,
When you heard a chief sing, I'm a mask that morning if it costs my life, it can really happen.
You surrender yourself to the spirits. If they choose to get you home, amen. If they don't, then you make that ground sacred.
It's just basically setting the path to have a safe day and make it back home.
So the Mardi Gras Indian, like the language and the dialect is something that's always interesting me because, I mean, it goes back. I mean, your ancestors' ancestors were singing these rhythms, right? And then, of course, it came through, you know, through European, Afro-Caribbean origin. So could you talk about some of the dialects and the terms? You know, Coochie Molly, Cootify. I mean, there's no definition.
It's an
expression.
When you say Coochie Molly, it's pretty much you open it up saying, I want to see what you have. Like two-way. When you hear say two-way, it means I'm full of it. It means I'm full of myself. I'm so pretty, you have to see me. Right. So it's just like when you look at a peacock. Yeah. You know, a male peacock has the most feathers, and if you really study a peacock, when it really see you paying attention, it'll shake and it opens up. People say it has a tendency to say it's an arrogancy thing, but it's a very prideful thing.
It's all supposed to be the confidence and the bravado as part of the presentation.
But it's the one time that people of color had a chance to really express themselves. So when we wear those suits, we just celebrate those ancestors before us because we've came a long way, but we still have a long way to go.
Mm-hmm. And something I've always just loved so much about the Mardi Gras Indian tradition is how actually these were working people, you know. And if you saw them at the grocery store, they just look like anyone else, you know,
like everyday person,
right? Just coming home from work, whatever. But then you see them in the streets in that suit, and it's just the greatest king you've ever seen, queen you've ever seen in your life. And then they're there parading through their neighborhood, and all the people they've grown up with are there. Enjoying that with them.
It's a great feeling because my wife always teases me. I could be in the store and somebody see me, Big Chief. I'm like, all right, I'm just being myself today. But it's an honor to have that. And I tell people when you see those elders that appreciate it, I love the fact that I can walk up the street, the elders appreciate it. And it's just you carrying the torch, you know, because Indian has changed. You know, in the beginning, you know, you might have heard Indians sing, I don't have enough money to pay my lights. You know, a lot of Indians back in the day had drug habits, went through difficult times. But now you have educators like myself. You have police officers. You have all walks of life in the Indian culture. So it's just, we're breaking the myth because in Louisiana and New Orleans, we appreciate it. But when you travel elsewhere, there's always the mystique of the moniker that most people from New Orleans are uneducated. Most people from New Orleans have drug habits or have some addiction. So it's basically breaking a negative stereotype, basically.
Absolutely. Well, once again, Gerald, you know, you and I could sit here and rap for hours and hours. Our crew's been working hard all day, so we should probably wrap it up. I just want to say what an honor it is to have you here. An honor it is to call you my friend.
Oh, definitely.
I just can't wait till I see you in the streets.
Man,
holding it up in that
This is my brother, man. He's saying friend, but this is my brother from another mother, man. Me and Stu's a great guy, man. I appreciate what you do, man. It's just, you know, we need more stuff like this to bring the unity, create the unity.
Absolutely.
Man.
And that's what we're trying to do here at the Funky Uncle. And we appreciate all the support you've given us since day one.
Oh, anytime, man.
You've been on this journey with us. And you're staying on it with us.
We're
in it together.
I think Chris will come kidnap me. And I also want to let you guys know December 5th, we're doing a video premiere. We're actually about to start filming the video this week. Got to check the band schedule and everything. So December 5th will be the video premiere. Oh, my bad. I'm not looking at the camera. I'm sorry. I'm not looking at the camera. December 5th at the Broadside, 7 to 9. Make sure y'all are there. We're putting together a video premiere, man. So it's just, we're trying to take this to another level. It's something first. Looking forward to it. Hope to see y'all there.
Once again, y'all, Big Chief Gerald Paige of the Great Spirit Warriors Indian Tribe, and of course the fantastic band Indian Water. What a pleasure to have them at the Funky Uncle. Thanks once again to the Howlin Wolf, and we'll see you next time. In the meantime, don't forget to wash your hands and stomp your feet. All right.
Sure, we put on a lot of really great concerts here, live from the Funky Uncle on Friday nights. But what's it really all about?
Love. Appreciation, you know, just trying to give back.
Being able to actually come in here and see a great band and get to interview them, that just did so much for my soul. But honestly, just the way we've been able to help people too. Not only to book a band and say, hey, we've got a paid gig for you during COVID, but then also just to be able to call up someone I love like Johnny Vodakovich, who's brought me so much joy, and say, listen, man, I know it's a tough time, but guess what? I got a check for you tomorrow. I'm bringing it by your house. You don't even have to come outside. I'll put it under the door.
And I really I don't even know how to say a big enough thank you.
Oh man, you just keep being you, brother. That's all. That's all we ask. Right? I mean, this whole thing that we're going through, it's just a different break in the rhythm, right? You know?
Tick tock, tick tock.
One long pause.
Absolutely.
You know, and you got to give unconditionally without ever expecting anything in return. Otherwise, you don't learn.
And they say, well, here's such and such, some money to help you out, And I couldn't believe it. I said, whoa, all right, well, great. And so that's how I first found out about the Funky Uncle. Yeah, he gave me money on the spot, which I thought was normal. I never really got any assistance from nothing to the COVID. I don't know if I really applied for anything either. So he gave me like $400 on the spot, and I said, wow. Well, thank you, Chris. And it's a great thing that they're doing that because I'm quite sure there's a lot of musicians up in need for a lot of things right now. But it helped me immensely. It helped me at a time when I really needed help.
We don't just do our art just for us. We do our art, just for you. We do our art for us as well. And this is therapeutic for us. So the fact that we have not been able to get together and jam out and do what we love to do the last 2 months, a month and a half.
I mean, we were playing
the day before
3 or 4 nights a week. So we were seeing each other every day.
I just went through withdrawal, cold turkey. I just put the last cigarette down and I have not picked it back up. So my nerves is bad and I'm super, super excited to hit this cigarette right now.
We come to see the music and we come to enjoy the music here, but it's so many more people it takes to bring the music. And by walking in the door here and seeing all the other people, it just made sense to me that more money needed to go to the gig work.
Yeah, the FunkyUncle.Live, man, they're helping a lot of people. I really love what they're doing. It's great, man. They've helped me, man. I was actually behind on a lot of my bills coming up because of the pandemic. I was behind on my car insurance and my car note and stuff like that, rent and things of that nature. And they've stepped in and helped me, man.
This is the worst I've ever seen it for entertainers and people that assist the entertainers. Like you said, the gig workers and the guys and gals who work backstage, they don't have any work either. So it's this I've never seen it this bad.
It's the big, giant, invisible hurricane that we can't evacuate away from.
No.
It really is not.
Coronavirus, no more gigs. So now we're here at the Funky Uncle.
I'll call you. That's my landlord. He did that thing. Yeah, tell him. I'm going to call him too, but tell him to call me up and we'll get the communication going. That's Mark. Don't forget. Yeah, we'll get it straight. Don't worry. We ain't going to forget you.
To make a living right now, basically, I'm not getting any money, enough money, from the government to even mention. I mean, it's not paying all my bills. It's not paying none of my bills. I'm basically just making it off the street right now, just playing on the street.
This is just as good of medicine for me as it is for the ones we're helping. Christian called, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'll come paint. And he's like, oh, no, that's not what I was calling for, French. I just wanted to use your float for the background shot. And I'm like, oh, but it's cool if I come paint, right?
My favorite parts about doing this thing at the Funky Uncle is that a lot of, when bands come in, this is the first time they've played together in a while, and it's just like a certain fire that comes back. So you can feel everyone, it feels good to be back together. So it seems like y'all were really,
Yeah, we was ready.
personifying that tonight.
Hey, you got to get it in, man.
You were, exactly. It felt like we were just in a packed, sold-out club.
Exactly. Now, look, a lot of people don't know. It's weird, though. Like, you're pouring, your heart and soul out. But it's weird, man, because nobody's there. It's like, it's just the camera. So we're just looking like.
And our crew just like,
right. When I found out about the assistance that Fridays from the Funky Uncle gives to musicians and gig workers, I thought that was really an incredible thing. I came home one night and I found my oak tree here had dropped a limb that was so big that I couldn't even reach around it. And it destroyed my neighbor's fence and into her backyard. So that put the dental surgery on hold. And then someone said, well, wait, how about that Funky Uncle thing? Don't they give assistance? I mentioned it to somebody, and within 2 days, they said, this is exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to help our folks. And I became a very proud recipient of assistance from the Funky Uncle.
And we're proud to be a part of this community. You know, this isn't the first time something like this is happening. Our fellow musicians, you know, they may start a fund, you know, if somebody, we try to make sure that we help each other.
Absolutely.
And we're a community of band members, we're a community of musicians, and we are a community of people here. You know, we see things happening around the city, around the world. I have to be true to my own experience. I love my city. I roll with my city.
Comes through loud and clear.
Yo, man, Willie Green, just let you know, Fridays from the Funky Uncles. We want you to be down there and kick ass with the Funky Uncles, yo. Yo, baby.
The Funky Uncle has really, like, I've seen it help a lot of musicians, including myself, like, just in the nick of time. Like, having groups to come together to really take care of the artists that kind of make sure New Orleans is what it is, like, has been really helpful.
Talk about lights, camera, action. There's like no gigs, no festivals. There's, you know, instability everywhere. There's one thing that we can control as a musician. Play your music as best you can.
And when you have programs like this,
Absolutely.
the Fridays from the Funky Uncle, that have pulled together to not take care of just you guys.
It takes a village to play music.
It does. It does. Our stage hands, our lighting techs, our video techs, our sound guys.
I'm a musician. I got to find a way to play. And if there's no other avenues for me to play, I'm going to create them. But it just allows me, the bottom line, to write a song, perform a song, touch somebody, bring people together.
So you enjoy coming to the shows and seeing us?
Definitely. Music's our lifeblood. And I was getting pretty antsy before that. We live for our music, and not having it for such a long time was tough. It really was.
And really, these people are gems. They're living legends who get really no support any time of the year. So right now, with COVID the way it is, a lot of these people are really, really struggling. So we're really trying to reach out to the streets, find these guys in their natural habitat, and help them out, because somebody's got to.
It's a massive honor to be part of making magic, music, medicine out of New Orleans. You got to give without expecting anything in return, and that's what's happening. And you know, New Orleans, the importance of the New Orleans music, putting out the love and the light. It goes back to Louis Armstrong after World War II, and they sent him all around the world to introduce jazz to everybody. You know, I mean, in a way, I feel we're doing that here in the Den in a spiritual way every Friday. And without having to leave the country, we're putting out that magic music medicine.
It may not be some groundbreaking amount that you can retire on, but you know, a little bit of help goes a long way in these times. Without Funky Uncle's help, I would not be able to have put the work into my horns and have them back into good working condition. You know, everybody go to the FunkyUncle.Live and see if you can get a little help.
If you know a musician or a gig worker in need of assistance, it's so easy. All you have to do is go to the FunkyUncle.Live and click on that donate button. Help make a difference in the lives of those that make such a big difference in ours.
Fridays from the Funky Uncle interviews Tyson Van Landingham. Second sticks.
I'm gonna go hoodie.
You're going hoodie on me?
I'm gonna go hoodie.
Okay.
Why, it doesn't look good? You don't like
You
the
look
hoodie?
like an Ewok.
What? I look like an Ewok? Is that what you're saying? Because of the gray hair.